Hello, I'm old Mr. Kent, 83 years old, on my morning e-trike ride, and haven't done a video for a few days for a couple of reasons. One of them, I'm running out of stories, but I got a current story to tell you about an old friend, and so I'll go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to talk about my banjo, and it is an old friend. I think 63 years ago is when I got my banjo, but let's start at the beginning. When I went away to college back in 1960, my little sister gave me her ukulele to take so I could learn to play it when I had time. And I like music, so when I had time, I practiced a little bit, and I learned to play it. I tuned it like the first four strings of a guitar. I guess there's two ways, maybe more than two ways, to tune a ukulele. So that first year of college, I played that ukulele and learned to play it, and I played it pretty good. In fact, a guy gave me a baritone uke, which is bigger and easier to play, because he liked the way I was playing the one I had. We won't go there, though, because I finally lost it. But anyway, so the end of the year came, and if you've been following my channel, you know that my folks were paying my college bill, and so I was supposed to go to California that summer and earn some money to help pay the college bill. And so I got down to California, and I bought a motorcycle and a guitar, a four-string guitar, because I hadn't heard of those before. And I heard about one, and so I bought that. Well, if you've been following my channel, you know my folks basically disowned me. They said no son of ours is ever going to have a motorcycle. And so they said, you're on your own. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm still on my own. No, not really, but anyway. And so now I had a good, and by the way, I gave it away to my nephew later on. I never should have given it away because it was a Martin. But back then I didn't know if Martin was good or bad. It was on sale or something at the music store. And so so I had that guitar, and I got to where I could play it in any key, and it was very, very enjoyable. So I take it to college when I go back after the summer, and had a little apartment. In fact, I got a picture of the apartment. I'll put that up. I got a picture of that that I sketched, and down in the lower left-hand corner, you should be able to see that guitar. So anyway, and back then, it's changed a lot. Because back then, people would get together and sing the old folk songs, and I can't remember a lot of them. But some of them were actually peace songs, and like She'll Be Coming Around the Mountains When She Comes. We sang those kind of songs in college, and then grown-ups would, it was something. It was a different atmosphere. Pardon me. So we had these get-togethers at the college. People that we got to know each other, and so we'd have a little. I remember I had it in my apartment one time. I had some guys come over with their guitars, and one guy had a mandolin, and we just had a lot of fun playing and singing. And so that's what we did. And so somewhere along the line, one of those guys said something about this guy that was a retired violin maker from Austria. And he was selling banjos that he had made for $100. Obviously, I didn't have $100, but I went down to visit with him. I got to know him really well. I went back many times, He was a super genius guy. He invented this thing back then where if you took a recording of an orchestra playing music or anything and put it in his machine. Now here comes a rut. I got to be real careful. And put it in his machine. It would hit all the keys on the piano to play the same song that it was picking up off of the tape. And of course, he made a lot of money because Bing Crosby Industries bought the copyright from him. So, and then he said he had some other inventions also. I'm going over some bumps here, but anyway, his name was Alfred Fisher, and he offered to teach me how to play violin or how to make violins from beginning to end if I would take the time to come over. But you know what I told him? I said, I'm busy getting an education. And that would have been a fun education, but anyway. So he didn't, I didn't buy a banjo from him. But there was these two ladies, young ladies, a couple years older than me, that worked for the college, and they knew me from, I guess because I worked in the food service or something. And they would invite me over to their apartment, and we'd have pizza and sing. And I don't know how many times I did that, but this one time I went over, and one of the young ladies, had purchased one of those $100 banjos and gave it to me. And that was in 1961 that happened. So now I had a banjo. And I loved playing that. By the way, years later, I wrote a song about this banjo. And here's a picture. I should be putting up pictures. Here's a picture of it now. And then I put up a picture of when it was new. But years ago, I wrote a song about it. And I'll put that at the end of this video. It's not poetry, it's music. Well, you could call it that anyway. So I had a banjo, and they had different things that I took it to at the college. And so it was just something that, I had. Well, then when I graduated and went to do my first year of teaching in Pasco, Washington, because I'd gone to college in Bellingham at the other corner of the state. So I went to Pasco, Washington, and one night, and by the way, in Bellingham, I'm getting ahead of myself. In Bellingham, downtown Bellingham, they had a Shakey's Pizza Parlor in an old building, and on weekends it would be crowded with people, and they had a piano and then a guy with a banjo sitting up on the piano, and then they had little leaflets with a whole bunch of songs in them, and somebody would call out, page 14, and everybody turned there, and then they would play the music, and we would sing. And so it was fun because I enjoyed the banjo music, and we just had a good time. So we went there a couple of times. Well, then when I moved to Pasco, and my first year of teaching, get over here so the guys can get by. Got two cars at once. In my first year of teaching, we discovered that there was a Shakey's Pizza Parlor there in Pasco. It wasn't in downtown Pasco, and it wasn't an old building, and it was just a fairly new building, and it was kind of like cold compared to the old building we were used to, but that's okay. So we went there one night. I think it was on weekend night. And we walked in, and we were the only people there. And so the guy came out to wait on us. And I said, do you guys ever have any banjo music or anything? And I don't remember if he was the manager or what. But anyway, he said, no, we don't have a banjo player. And so I said, well, I can play the banjo. And so I don't think I had to audition for it. And so he bought a piano, and there was this old guy that he introduced me to named Leo Payne, Payne. And so Leo and I got together and we practiced. He was so good. He could play any key and all by ear. And so I could play in any key on my banjo by ear. And so we had fun practicing. Well, then, we made $12 a night, Friday and Saturday night, every week. And then before we went home, we got a free pizza. So that was a pretty good deal. And we had a wonderful time. People would come in, and it was just, it went from me and my wife, the only people there on a weekend night, to packed people singing. And it was just like, just like up in Bellingham, except it didn't have that nice cozy feeling. It was a brand new building and all that, but it was good, and everybody kept coming back, and so that was my first year of teaching. But the only problem was at the end of my first year of teaching, I had to go back to summer school to work on my master's degree, and so I gave up playing the banjo at Shakey's Pizza Parlor. Okay. Thanks, guys. And so I gave up playing a banjo at the pizza parlor, and that's all I did for a while. Except that as the couple years went by, the faculty at the high school, at Pasco High School, they would have after a football game. Once in a while they'd have an after the game party, and they'd have anyway. And so they'd have dancing, and so me, the music teacher, and I think the science teacher, which was a lady who played the clarinet, and the music teacher he played that trumpet so nice. And so we would play at the party while everybody was dancing. And I'm going to turn around and go the other way. We're getting too close to where there's traffic. And so, and I never will forget, if you're old enough to remember the song called Tangerine, Tangerine, do. I don't know the words, but he would hold that note. He Tanger, and as soon as he'd hit ring, I go dum 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 on the banjo, and they loved it. They keep asking us to play it over and over and stuff. So that was my fun I had while I was teaching at the high school. Well, then I quit teaching at the high school and became chief engineer for a Christian radio station, which was located at a church. And I got to play my banjo here and there once in a while there. But then after a while, I was able to teach Sunday school in the gymnasium. Now, this church had 20 Sunday school buses that went out every Sunday and picked up children and brought them in. And most of the children were the ages of first, second, and third grade that I taught. And I taught them in the gym. And I've got a picture somebody took of my Sunday school class. And here's our dog friends again, because I'm going back. Yep. Anyway, so here we go again. We'll get past the dogs pretty soon. Anyway, so when I would teach the Sunday school class, now I taught a little different than a lot of teachers. I mean, I'd get a story out of the Bible, and then I put it was like I put it in a situation of Billy and Bobby. Billy was the good boy and Bobby was the bad boy and all that kind of stuff. And so, but not only that, I would play my banjo, and the kids would sing, and I taught them my own Sunday school songs, and the kids would sing, and the next week they'd be back again, and that picture was after they had remodeled and put the bleachers in. Before that, we set up chairs on Saturday night out in the gym, and we set up 150 chairs, and we estimated that I had between 80 and 150 kids every week. So it was fun, and I played games with them, like don't copy me, and then they'd start copying me, and then I had some way to get them to stop. I don't remember what it was, but they didn't let we had a lot of fun. I'll put it that way. And so I played my banjo every week. Well, this one time, I don't remember what happened. I don't remember the details, but Sunday school was over, and I leaned my banjo against the wall on the stage, and so I could come back and get it later. And as it turned out, I won't give this guy a name, but he was coming out of the gym as I was going in, and he said, "By the way, your banjo fell off the stage." It just fell off the stage, And so I go over and look at it. Well, the damage that was done to it wasn't from falling off the stage, because it was a little more rugged than that. And I don't think that guy liked me very well. In fact, I know he didn't. But anyway, so he didn't help in my class anymore, because there wasn't anybody else in the gym. And he came out and right off the bat told me it fell off. So now I had to repair it. And I've got some pictures of the repair job that I did. Because what happened is, well, first of all, I got to tell you how Mr. Fisher made the banjo. I forgot that part. Making the head, or the round part of the banjo, out of wood was what they usually do. That takes a lot of time, a lot of skill, and he was a violin maker. So what he did was he decided to come up with his own idea. So the round part was made with a piece of stainless steel sewer pipe. And I got a picture of the bottom of it there after the repair. And the only thing is, it made the banjo a little more heavy. As it turned out, my banjo now weighs 12 pounds. It always did. Well, anyway, so that's how come, it broke. So what I needed to do was repair the neck so I could fasten it back to the head. And so that's where the repair, you can see where I pull cracks together and glued dowling in to hold them together and things like that. Well, when it was first made, you just clamp it to the head, and it was all square and everything like it's supposed to be. But after that, well, then after I did my repair on it, it wasn't perfect anymore, and so I had to use shims to square it up, because you want those strings to come right up where they go into the head. They need to be right in the center of the fingerboard. And so, well, I don't know. It's been 8, 9, maybe 10 years since I played it, because the shims fell out and it needed to be worked on, and I was busy doing other things, and so I didn't do it. So finally, since I'm living at my son's place, I decided I'm just going to go ahead and repair it again, see if it'll work. See, because I'll put a picture, I have a baritone uke like that guy gave me, only his was a little more used. So I bought that, along the line here somewhere. But my fingers don't work like they used to, and the banjo strings are a lot thinner and lighter and easier to press down than the baritone uke. And so I still wasn't happy with what I had there. So that's why I decided to go get the banjo and repair it. So finally I got it put together, and so now I can play the banjo. And by the way, I usually, when I'm just playing it at home, I put a mute on it. And a mute makes it sound more like a guitar than a banjo. And so the mute then is on there most of the time when I'm playing in home. But if I was ever to play with a band again or anything like that, or in Sunday school or anything, that's pretty much out of the question now. But anyway, then I would just play banjo, because that's got its own sound. But if I put the mute on it, then it sounds like a guitar. My wife prefers that also. So just the other day, I got it all put together and put the shims in, and as it turns out, one of the best shims is that I used was a zip tie. Just a little short piece of the zip tie was the perfect width to get that get the neck all squared up with the head. So anyway, that's the story of my banjo. I've had it, I think it's 63 years now, and been a lot of places with it, and had a lot of fun with it, and enjoyed it very much. I love music. I've got a picture of me playing the accordion here, and then of course the piano, and so anyway, bottom line, I got my banjo back, and now I got to practice some more, because I haven't played it for 8 or 9 years. So we'll finish up with a song that I wrote, I don't know, 15, 20 years, maybe a lot later, about my banjo, because I'd had it so long, and it's an old friend. It really is, because I love playing music. So here's the song that I wrote about my banjo.
This old music maker of mine has been making music most of my lifetime, making tears, making smiles, traveled with me many miles. This old music maker of mine, I'm keeping this old music maker of mine. There's nothing I would take in trade anytime. It's recorded most of my dreams, it's inspired a few of my schemes. This old music maker of mine, I guess I cherish this old music maker of mine. It don't look like much, but it sounds mighty fine. It's been carried on my back, it's been cuddled on my lap. I've even slept with this old music maker of mine. The day will come when this old music maker of mine will get a rest when we both reach the end of the line. It'll lean up against a wall, and in the silence a tear will fall. Down in the heart of this old music maker of mine. This old music maker of mine has been making music most of my lifetime. Making tears, making smiles, traveled with me many miles. This old music maker of mine.
Well, I think I waited long enough. I'm riding my trike. I'm not listening to it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I don't sing like that anymore. Sometimes my wife tries to correct me, but it doesn't work like it used to. So anyway, that's Story of my banjo. I want to thank you for watching my video, and God bless.